Hi, and welcome to another episode of Daily Ad Briefs, More to Media. I'm your host, Jeff Swartz, and I have a fantastic guest with me. I've known him a long time, Eddie Grochowiak. He has two businesses, actually, that are very interesting, but he leverages media in a very unique way to get his brand out there, I think better than most people and everything. His two businesses are real estate based with the Groho Group. And his other one is GoEmpire, where he's a sports agent focusing more on the basketball community. Thanks for being on the show, Eddie.
Thanks for having me.
So, with your two businesses that you have, how do you leverage and utilize media, whether it's paid or organic?
From the beginning of GoEmpire and Groho Group, I always looked at different social media channels that we could leverage to get our brand out, our messaging out, and then also tell the stories of our clients. So I've always, utilized Facebook, of course, because that was the first channel really around the time of when I started GoEmpire Group in 2011. And then today, when we post something, say for real estate, it goes on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Google My Business. So really, we try to throw our stuff out and see where it sticks, because you never really know where someone will interact with you and come across from you first. Of course, we think the traditional means of, oh, this person's going to reach out to me and ask me to help them with a business service. But, what I didn't realize over time was people may watch you for 2 or 3 years on social media before ever interacting with you, if they do ever interact with you. So you never know where you're going to be seen. So we really, say you really have to hit every different facet. So yeah, and I mean, social media mainly is free. Of course, there's some paid advertising that we've done in the past, really for real estate-based stuff. Different in basketball. It's interesting. If we have a real estate client reaching out to us and asking for help, we're like, oh, awesome. You're reaching out to us on social media. But in basketball and in sports, if somebody's reaching out to you, you're like, oh, they don't already have an agent. Is that somebody that we want to work with? So totally a different competition level.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You touched on one of the things of quantity, right? Being in multiple different places, and you do produce a lot of good quality content at a high level and everything. And if anybody's watching this wants to get some inspiration, I suggest following Eddie. But one of the terms that you've used in the past is cutting through the thickness. I just want to make sure we got it right on my notes. What does that mean exactly? And then how does somebody cut through the thickness?
Yeah. I guess if we think about just real estate content for, you guys you're in Pittsburgh right now. So anybody who bought a house in Pittsburgh probably follows their realtor. A lot of real estate content for a number of years was based around just listed, just sold, under contract, where people are really telling the stories about their current transactions. For me, that just doesn't do anything. For me, it's, how do we talk about how inflation is affecting everything right now and how real estate's a good hedge against inflation, right? How do we tell the story of, Danny Jelani, who I went to Dayton with, who's a doctor who just bought a condo with his wife? How do we tell the story of when you buy an investment property, here are the 3 things that you need to know going into it. You have to put 25% down. You have to have money for reserves. You want to get a good rental roll from the units in the building. So again, to go deeper, to provide value that you may not be seeing in your marketplace, or maybe you are seeing it in your marketplace by the top people in their positions. So again, to think creatively around what's something that I find interesting and how do I provide that to other people? So I think, in real estate, it's just finding creative topics that people aren't just going to scroll through. I'd say, in basketball, it's a little different. How do you get your guys in a position that they feel comfortable with, that represents who they are. But again, it's really thinking outside the box.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a ton of different examples and a ton of different stories of when you've helped coached up basketball people with their social and like you leverage it for their career as well as to be able to sell a listing or get a listing as well too. I'm sure there's a lot of people that ask you like, how are you doing this? Like what's going on? And it's a lot of grit, hard work, and just dedication to keeping consistent and figuring out what's that story, what's that value to them. So I love that message, and I really appreciate you being on the show. And we're actually already out of time. So thanks for being on the show, Eddie.
Thanks, brother. Good seeing you.
Yeah, absolutely. If you are interested in getting in contact with Eddie, we'll have all of his details at dailyadbrief.com. Whether you want to buy a house, sell a house in Chicago, or if you're looking to advance your sports career or become a sports agent as well. He's a wealth of knowledge. I've tapped him many times over the year. Thank you for watching another episode of More to Media. I'm your host, Jeff Swartz, and I'll see you next time.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.